time I said I need to redo this trailer? Probably about 8 months ago. Well, I got a job for it now, so I need to get this fixed. So where I put this compressor on here, the weight distribution's off. So like, do this, it does that. So if you tear that down the road, it'll start swaying. Here's an example. This clip is from 2016. So I had the trailer was too short, and I was hauling like 10 or 12 sheets of 3/16 flat steel. It was 4 foot wide and 8 feet long, and the weight distribution was off. So I set a refrigerator on the front to balance it out, and then when I hit this bridge up here, all the weight shifted back and the thing started swaying on me. And at that point in time, I wasn't really sure what to do. So I think I slammed on the brakes or something. Anyways, ended up spinning around in the road and just had to pick the metal up. No one got hurt, so. But here's just a real life example of that. Let's get this fixed. The end goal here is I want to take this toolbox, turn it to the back, put the air compressor sideways right here over the axle. That way all the weight's axle forward. But this thing also has this mesh garbage right here that's pretty weak, and so I just want to replace that with some flat steel. I was going to buy some diamond plate, but the price went up, so I'm just going to use some 3/16 I have, and that should be good. So let's work on getting all this stuff pulled off of here and cutting that mesh off. The charging system on this for the 12-volt battery doesn't work off the engine. So I bought this weatherproof charger that's supposed to be outdoor rated. And I thought, you know, because the generator generates electricity, so I was just going to charge it with that. But this thing quit working after like a week, so don't buy one of these, they're junk. got it now. Ooh. I probably should have emptied that. This thing looks a lot smaller without anything on it. So the plan now is to do as little grinding as possible. I'm going to take the plasma cutter and cut all this mesh out, and then take the air chisel and try and chisel all them little welds, and hopefully get the majority of it out is the goal. So do that, and then there'll be some grinding, but try and cut down a lot of it. Another thing on the list is I'm going to cut this little thing here off. I guess you could take this bolt out and have the tongue pivot. I don't need to do any of that crap, so I'm going to also weld the tongue solid back through there just to kind of beef it up. And the jack, I think instead of having all these bolts and stuff here, I think I'm going to weld it solid too. That way everything is permanent and good to go. I'm also going to cut these lights off here and redo where those go because I don't like how that is. So I'm gonna get at it. That air chisel here is the trick for getting that mesh off. It did a good job. So, you know, I got little tiny bits and pieces here and there, but and a little bit of weld to grind down, but that worked out better than I thought it would. So we will come back tomorrow and hopefully finish this thing up. All right, I'm gonna get to grinding all these spots here down and get this thing ready for the metal to go on top of it. So Okay, another thing I want to do while I am working on this is this trailer has the small ball inch and eighth, I think. And all of my other trailers either have 2" or 2 5/16. So I got a new coupler for it. That way, no point in just having one hitch for this. Kind of annoying just changing for one trailer. So that way they all match. So we'll cut that off, and I'm gonna plasma cut some more stuff off here. Everything's ground, and we'll be ready to start welding the metal on here. Let me pick this up. But will it stay like that? But I can make it still. Okay, safe enough. All right, a couple days later, got rained out a few days there. So we're ready to weld this plate down, and I need to make a couple brackets right here for the lights. I want to move them back in this corner with a different style. So I'm gonna clean up the spots I'm gonna weld this, get it welded on here, and then make them lights, and we should be ready to paint the thing. After I do that, before we paint it, I'm going to set everything on here, draw my holes for all the mounts, then we'll paint it. So alright, so I messed with this a little while, and I'm finally happy with this setup. So I spun the compressor around to where that engine and compressor was sitting a little bit farther forward. Then I could push it a little closer to the welder here, and I've got it dead center over the axle. Then the welder up front, toolbox in the back. It's got plenty of tongue weight. I can stand right there on the back of it. and the tongue doesn't raise up, so should be pretty good. Because, I mean, there's nothing going to be that heavy in that box, just my welding leads and stuff, and that doesn't weigh more than I do, so everything should be good there. So I'm going to get ready to mark all these holes, take all this stuff off so I can drill the holes and then paint it. But I was looking at how I wanted to do my lights on the outside here, but the more I look at it, I'm thinking I might just cut me out a piece of metal for each side right here and just have the light right here underneath the box. And actually, I'll just weld the metal to the box. And then I think that would be good because then it will never get smashed up under there. I think that'd be a good spot for him. So I'm gonna work on that and let you know what I come up with. All right, we are ready to shoot some primer on this, so I'm gonna get to spraying. Oh, it's not big enough. Yeah, I should be spraying up there anyways. All right, that turned out good. So we'll come back in 3 or 4 days or so and put this all back together. Give that paint plenty of time to cure good. So we'll be back then. All right, we're back on this about 3 days later. So only thing I did off camera earlier was I ran my new trailer lights through here. Originally they came out underneath the tongue here, and it wasn't a good spot because if you back up too far, the ball hits it and chops the wires right there, which is what happened. So I put a grommet in a hole right here, and I think that's a good spot for it. So done that. Put in these new little marker lights. I like them better. And then wires hanging out the back for the rear ones. So now we're ready to set everything on, get everything bolted down. So I'm gonna get to doing that. All right, so I was going to go ahead and hook up the main power cable to run the starter on this and have them both run off of this battery. But I guess I'm out of ring terminals and didn't know it. So let's just scratch that. But anyways, here's the finished product minus hooking the starter up, which don't take very long. I just don't have any ring terminals and I want to get this video up. So other than that, there it is. Threw a little reflective tape on it. I like how the lights turned out in the back here. I think that looks pretty good. So I need to put that guard back on, but I was making sure it didn't throw that pulley off again. So anyways, this is a huge improvement now. Everything's balanced. I can tow it down the road. I can stand on the back. And it doesn't rear up. So yeah, I'll call this thing done. That'll do it for this one. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.